All right, what's going on, guys? This is End Time Headlines, and this is breaking news. It is approximately 6:25. We're heading into around 6:30 p.m. Eastern on this Tuesday night, August 5th. I realize that this is kind of a spur of the moment. So this breaking news alert should be going out to everyone who has our app. You'll be getting this, and you guys who subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll be getting this update. Again, this is a breaking news alert. This is, and this is just coming across the wire, guys. I'm getting this, and I want to relay this information to you. There's so many things going on right now. And we still got our 8 o'clock hour tonight that we'll be back. We'll be in an hour and a half. We'll be back on here for our typical normal 8 p.m. Eastern program. But we wanted to come in here and relay this information to you. Let me pull this article up. This just came across, and I wanted to share this with you because it's like, wow, really? I'm going to read this to you. Global outbreak fears surges. Virus in China prompts quarantines and thousands of new cases are reported. So we're going to be talking about that real quick in this update. And then in the midst of all this, and I don't want to go too much in detail about this because I'm probably going to share this tomorrow, but there are experts now warning that the large earthquake off the coast of Russia has now caused what they're calling a parade of volcanoes to erupt. So all that seismic activity that we think is calming down, it's not. It's ramping up. Another earthquake just hit New Jersey today. There was another one off the Dominican Republic. So there is a lot of seismic activity that's rocking the earth and the planet right now. And it reminds me, again, if you go to Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21, all of these scriptures talk about all of this in the context of one another. It says there will be pestilences, plagues, earthquakes in diverse places, famines, wars, rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And remember, the key, guys, is not the fact that we're going to see these things because we've had these throughout the span of history. That's nothing new. But the key is when you begin to see all of these things begin to increase simultaneously, that's the real marker on this. So we want to welcome everybody. Again, this is breaking news. Thank you guys for coming in on this Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I know this is not our typical 8 p.m. Eastern hour. We're going to be back in an hour and a half. We've got a program lined up for you. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern, but we want to get you some breaking news before we get into this. Again, hit that like button. That's going to help push this out, get eyes on our program. And when we come back, and we're going to take a pause for about 7 seconds, 8 seconds. When we come back, I want to give you the latest that's coming out of China that I really hope that we're not going to see a repeat of something we saw in 2020. Another day, another virus, and something new coming out of China. Let's get after it.
The following program is brought to you by friends and partners of End Time Headlines.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get right into this. Again, this is breaking news. Thank you guys for hopping on here. Again, this is not our normal 8 p.m. Eastern hour. For some of you that are coming in saying, wait a minute, you're an hour and a half short. No, this is breaking news. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern with our regular program. I want to bring you this. This is coming out of China. I'm going to read this headline. Global outbreak fears surge as virus in China prompts quarantines and thousands of new cases are reported. Let's read a little bit of this. Let's see what the heck is going on in China now. Chinese officials have imposed we're going to say pandemic-like because we want to be wise here and I don't want to get this taken down. Pandemic-like quarantines. Wow. So there's quarantines going on again in China in parts of the country as cases of, we're going to call this, guys, I probably ain't going to say this right, but I'm going to call it what it is. Chikungunya virus continue to surge. We're going to call this chick virus for short, because it's going to save us a lot of tongue tying and slip ups here. More than 7,000 infections have been reported in the southern city of Foshan, I believe that's how you pronounce that, in this province, prompting authorities to isolate patients in hospital wards. Sound familiar? Covered with mosquito nets. They're required to remain there for a week or until they test negative, if sooner. So this is a nightmarish repeat of 2020, 2019, 2020 all over again. So far, no deaths have been reported. Look at that. No deaths have been reported, yet over 7,000 infections have been reported. Pandemic-like quarantines. I mean, these people are being required to quarantine for a week or until they test negative. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention has issued a, quote, level 2 travel advisory for the Guangdong province, urging Americans to take extra precautions when visiting the region. If you're just hopping on here, this is live, and we are talking about a new possible outbreak. I don't want to use the P word. I don't want to say pandemic. It could be an epidemic. They're saying that they're warning of another. Look, if you look up here, look at this. Experts warn of another global epidemic as virus spreads. Again, 7,000 infections. The want-like quarantines or pandemic-like quarantines already taking place. Travelers are advised to wear insect repellent, cover up with long clothing, and stay in air-conditioned or screened accommodation to avoid mosquito bites. At least 12 other cities in Guangdong have reported infections, with about 3,000 cases being reported over the past week, bringing the total of over 10,000 in the country. Those experiencing fevers, joint pain, or rashes are being asked to visit the nearest hospital so they can be tested for the virus. Additionally, officials have ordered travelers from Foshan to undergo a 14-day home quarantine. Look at that. Similar to the want restrictions, but that has since been withdrawn. So it seems like there's a lot of knee-jerk reaction that's coming from the Chinese government, obviously being orchestrated by President Xi. This is not shocking. They do these totalitarian type of procedures whenever, they do this whenever they have some kind of a weird virus or a new sickness or something comes up. Hong Kong this week confirmed its first case of the virus. A 12-year-old boy developed a fever, rash, and joint pain after visiting Foshan. Here's the madness about this, guys. Here's the crazy thing about this. There have been no deaths reported. No deaths have been reported from this, yet you're seeing this extreme measures. Does anybody else think this is odd? This is strange. Is this, and guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Again, in the chat, let me know. Is there something more sinister here? Is there something more nefarious at work here that maybe we don't know? For example, let me just throw this out there. When the want virus first originated, there was a lot of suppression. There was a lot of information that was being masked and it was being hidden. It was not being released to the general public. And at first, they just kind of blew it off as this was just some type of respiratory virus. But then, as time went on, we now know that it was far more sinister, and it had an evil intent behind it. It had a nefarious agenda behind this. Is there something more to this? And I'm going to call it again for short, the chick virus. Again, it could be pronounced chikungunya virus. This is a mosquito-borne virus that travels through mosquitoes, kind of like malaria. But remember, take a little trip with me here for a second. Remember, we've been warning about, and many other experts have warned about these genetic modified mosquitoes. They have talked about, these diseases being created in laboratories. We've done many podcasts on this and we've warned about this. Is it possible? I'm not saying it is, but is it possible that that's what we've got going on here? Is once again, China is playing the crazy scientists in a dark laboratory somewhere behind closed doors, and they're trying to create some kind of genetically modified disease, whatever the case may be, and this stuff leaked out once again, and we're not being told this. Why, again, it makes you wonder why such extreme measures if there's been no deaths reported. And again, according to this report, the only thing that's kind of coming from this is just some joint pain, a fever, a rash, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that's for some people, that's like a common cold, depending on your immune system. This is crazy stuff, but this is happening. Again, this virus is primarily spread by mosquitoes, the same species of mosquitoes that carry the Dengue and Zika virus. It is rarely fatal, but can cause debilitating symptoms. Infections are most common in Asia, Africa, and South America, though more recently cases have also emerged across Europe and the U.S. Nearly 500,000 people were infected during a major outbreak in 2004 to 2005. So is this what's happening? Are we on the precipice of another major outbreak where 500,000 or 1 million or more is going to be infected by this virus? It is not spread through bodily fluids or saliva. It can only be transmitted by the bite of an infected mosquito. Now, you have to ask yourself, and I would assume that this is already in the U.S. I assume, and think about, we've already got they've been warning about these tick-borne viruses. Who was it that just came out? Justin Timberlake just came out and announced that he's got Lyme disease. Justin Bieber's got Lyme disease. All these people just popping up with Lyme disease and these diseases that are coming from these tick-borne viruses. And some of these are far more extreme, where they develop these rare cases of intolerance to red meat. They can't eat red meat. I personally know some people that fall in that category. I know I got a good friend of mine that almost died from a tick bite. Again, you never heard about this stuff, guys, 20, 30 years ago. I believe, and let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Is this biological warfare? Using ticks, mosquitoes, what next? Fleas? Remember the cases? We're getting more and more of these cases that are popping up of the bubonic plague that's emerging from flea bites. This is just crazy. And I know, and there's a side to you that wants to point to the sinister side to this, man-made, weaponized, etc. But the biblical side knows that these are what's called pestilences. And Jesus warned about this in Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21. They warned us about these pestilences. So, biblically speaking, we know this. But this is going to be interesting. We want to keep an eye on this. Again, I know many people are hopping in here. We're talking about a global outbreak, fear that is, quote unquote, surging from a virus that's spreading in China, prompting these pandemic-like quarantines again, and thousands of new cases are being reported. There's other sources saying that President Xi, let me see if I can pull this up. I saw a headline that talks about this. President Xi imposes horror pandemic-era rules. So again, if this is just a virus from a tick that causes a fever or a rash or some joint pain, why the extreme measures that we're seeing? Now, again, you couple this, guys, with everything that's going on, and this is just another brick in the wall. We don't have time tonight because we're going to be right back on here in an hour and 20 minutes. And we're going to talk about a warning that just came from California from Pastor Jack Hibbs of a bill that is being proposed to pass in California if this thing passes. And we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about wars brewing. Again, we're getting more of the saber rattling with Russia and with America. Now China's getting involved. Iran's getting involved. There's nuclear bombers. There's nuclear submarines all in place. And if one thing goes wrong or whatnot, and they're getting ready to have these, talks, who knows where that's going? So we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep you up to date on that. Again, if you've not downloaded our free app, guys, I want to encourage you to pick it up today. Pick it up as soon as we get off this broadcast. Go to your Play Store, go to the Apple Store, the Android Store, download it today. Hit yes to push notifications, and that's how you can keep up with everything we're doing. You'll get those breaking news alerts, the prophecy updates, all of our podcasts, the articles, everything's going to be right there at your fingertips. Just like this, the alert went out, you guys were notified, and then you knew that we were live. And again, endtimeheadlines.org, endtimeheadlines.com, that's going to be our main landing page, our website where you can find us, and that's where you're going to find all of our articles and everything as well. So guys, we're going to let you go. Again, wanted to give you this quick update. Anything else goes on, again, be looking for tomorrow. We'll be back on here. I don't know what time we'll announce that, and we're going to talk about this seismic activity that's increasing. We'll give you the latest on that. Who knows what'll happen between now and the next 24 hours. So we're going to get you updated on all that. But we'll see you guys in about an hour and 15 minutes at 8 p.m. Eastern. God bless. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to the End Time Headlines podcast. We pray that you've been blessed and equipped by today's message. For more information about how you can help partner with our ministry, please visit endtimeheadlines.org.